Good afternoon and welcome to the Williston Northampton Schools Athletic Hall of Fame induction ceremony. We are gathered here to celebrate the outstanding achievements of some of our most distinguished athletes, coaches, and teams who have made a significant impact on our school's athletic legacy. Today we are inducting our 12th class into the Hall of Fame as we honor these exceptional individuals and teams who have demonstrated excellence, leadership, and commitment to the spirit of athletics. I want to thank members of the Hall of Fame Selection Committee, including Mark Conroy and Jay Grant, for their leadership in assembling this year's class. As you may know, Mark retired last year after a storied career at the Williston Northampton School, and we welcomed our new athletic director, Jade Morris, last summer. Jade has made an incredible impact in this role. I can't wait for you all to hear from her about the successful year we had under her leadership. Many of you may recognize this alum, Gabby Thomas. Gabby Thomas, class of 2015. We used to be text pals, but now it all goes through her agent, who won 3 gold medals in last year's Summer Olympic Games. Gabby is not available to be here this reunion, but we still want to acknowledge this incredible athlete and leader in our community who would have been inducted this year if she could have joined us. It is now my great pleasure to introduce Jade Morris to the podium to begin the induction ceremony.
Thank you, Bob. Good afternoon. We're gathered to celebrate our new inductees into Williston Northampton's Athletic Hall of Fame at the end of what has been another remarkable year for Williston athletics. Before we turn our attention to this year's inductees, I'd like to share a few highlights of this past year, and what a year it was for the Wildcats. As this is my first year serving as Williston's Director of Athletics, I want to take a moment to say how truly grateful I am to be a part of this vibrant community. I would be remiss if I did not publicly thank Mark Conroy for his exceptional leadership, the solid foundation he built, and the countless hours he spent helping me transition into this role. His continued support has been invaluable, and I know I speak for so many when I say how deeply appreciated and respected he is. In addition, I'd like to thank Jay Grant for his support through my transition. He was the first person Mark introduced me to 1 year ago and made a lasting impression on me with his genuine love for Williston and the breadth of knowledge. If anyone's looking for 2 trivia teammates, those are your team. Now on to an extremely special year in athletics for Williston. This year, our students and coaches achieved tremendous success across all 3 seasons. The football team had a historic run, finishing the season with an 8-1 record and capping it off with a commanding 42-26 win over Cheshire Academy to claim the NEPSAC Danny Smith Bowl. Also in the fall, our varsity field hockey team captured the NEPSAC Class B championship with a thrilling 4-3 double overtime victory against top-seeded Middlesex. The game-winning goal in dramatic fashion and secured a title that capped off a remarkable season. Winter brought more excitement as the boys basketball team finished with an extraordinary 25-1 record and brought home the NEPSAC Class A championship with a commanding 18-point win over Exeter. It was our first since 2016. In the pool, our boys swimming and diving team continued its legacy of excellence, winning the 2025 NEPSAC Division II championship, our 4th title in the last 5 seasons. And this spring, our boys track and field team not only won the NEPSAC Division II championship, but they did it right here on our home course and in record-breaking fashion. Over the course of the season, athletes shattered 6 school records, including the 200-meter, 400-meter, 800-meter, 3K, 300-meter high hurdles, and both the 4x1 and 4x4 relays. Some of those records stood for more than 2 or even 3 decades. Pretty impressive. These accomplishments speak volumes about the resilience, teamwork, and passion of our student athletes and coaches. Let's take a moment to recognize them one last time to celebrate their extraordinary efforts this year. Now let's turn our attention to this year's group of honorees. We will be inducting 6 individual athletes, 2 teams, and a coach into our Hall of Fame this year. Our first student presenter today is Cal Hoyt. Cal is a member of the recently graduated class of 2025 and a 2-sport varsity athlete. Cal, can you please join us on the stage?
It gives us great pleasure to welcome Lou Kissling Jr., class of 1967, back to campus to induct him into our Athletic Hall of Fame on the occasion of his 58th reunion. An exceptional 3-sport athlete, there is no question that Lou left his mark on the Williston Academy campus. In the fall, Lou was an outstanding goalie for Hall of Fame coach Ray Brown, leading the soccer team to an excellent senior season, losing only 1 game, finishing at 8-1-2. In 11 games, Lou gave up 9 goals total, including 6 shutouts, impressive to say the least. At season's end, he was awarded the league's prestigious Alfred J. Ekblom Memorial Trophy, honoring outstanding sportsmanship, team effort, and academic excellence. In the winter, Lou headed to the pool to swim for legendary coach Wilmot Babcock, where he was a strong contributor to some outstanding teams. Perhaps the highlight of his career took place during his junior year in 1965, when he led off a 200 free relay that earned them All-American status and was the 3rd fastest time in the country that year. Their school relay record stood for an amazing 35 years. In the spring, Lou played lacrosse, where his accomplishments were noteworthy to say the least. Team captain, first team All-New England, played in the New England All-Star Game. His lacrosse career continued at Bucknell University, where he enjoyed a tremendous career captaining the team as a senior, earning league MVP honors, setting numerous school records, and twice being named an All-American. Bucknell inducted him to their Hall of Fame in 1987. It gives us great pleasure to induct Lou Kissling into the Williston Hall of Fame this spring. Can I ask Lou Kissling to come forward so we can present him with this honor?
I think you got it right. I don't know. Good afternoon, everybody. For me to say I'm surprised and happy to be here is an understatement. There were some things that were said about me earlier that I didn't even know. So and one of the things that was mentioned was the phrase academic achievements. Thank you. So I will also tell you that this is a late deal for me. I should have been here 2 years ago. I was actually asked to be in this program 2 years ago. Something came up, I had to postpone it to last year. Okay, last year comes up. Something came up a month before this meeting, I had to postpone it again. So here I am in 2025. I've given the school 2 years to look at my record, my resume, some of the things that might have been embellished. I didn't answer any phone calls from Williston or any emails in the last 2 months. Wherever that plaque is, I'm keeping it. I'm not turning it back. That's all there is to it. I'm not sure if any of the members of the committee are here who do the nominating, but I thank you very much for your consideration of putting this old-timer in the Hall of Fame. I specifically, though, want to thank one person. He's here somewhere, Ray Brown. I know. Ray said to me about 7 years ago when I was back here that, Lou, you should be considered for this Hall of Fame. And after I stopped laughing, we just kind of let it slide, and that was the end of it. And I know he kept pushing for it, and so I thank Ray very much for getting me in here. I appreciate that. My Williston athletic career, before I came here, was 0. I was a swimmer in the summer program, I did no competitive sports and anything else. I was truly not an athlete. So I come here, and the only sport I had was swimming, and I think I told you I was pretty good at that in the summer. So let's go to the middle semester here where I have to have this swim team I joined. They're loaded with All-Americans, national prep school record holders. The team has won the New England Championships roughly every other year. One year they were given the title of the national title holder of the best team in the country by comparing the times from school to school. My swimming career at Williston died before it even started. I mean, I did last through my sophomore year, and I had the one relay I was on that did very well, but I realized I was in over my head. I went and played squash, and I got a letter in squash. That was much better for me. Now, go back to the fall semester, football. I don't like pain. My arms are the size of toothpicks. That ended that. I wasn't going to do that. Cross country? No way. So I have soccer left. I've never played soccer in my life. Goalie. I could be a goalie maybe. That ended up doing well for me, and so I was very happy with that, and that's really where I got to know Coach Ray Brown. Fast forward to the spring with lacrosse, and I'm thinking, I guess I play baseball. Well, baseball, they're throwing balls from a pitcher. He might hit you. That hurts. You're an infielder. You're getting ready to pick up a ground ball, and it bounces up and hits you in the face. That hurts. And I don't like pain at all. And so the lacrosse co-captains happened to come into the dorm around that time, asked what we were going to do. I decided to play lacrosse, made the varsity eventually at Williston, and went on to play it in college, and I've loved the sport ever since. Bottom line is, Williston, for me, took me from a total non-athlete and exposed me to all the sports. And it's like I've just been in love with sports ever since, whether it's marathons, 10Ks, hiking in the Grand Canyon, fishing, backpack hikes into the wilderness with 50-pound backpacks. That's what I do. And it's all because of Williston exposing me to the fact that I am an athlete, or was anyway. So I want to, in passing here, just say there are other members who are going to be coming up here to speak later today, all these plaques. I congratulate all of you on being inducted into the Hall of Fame. I hope you're as happy and as excited as I am about getting into it. And my final statement is, you all know an athlete, a pro basketball player named Charles Barkley, the round mound of rebound, I think was his nickname. Well, I subscribe to his theory, which is, the older I get, the better I was. Thank you.
Congratulations, Lou. Presenting the next award is Rowan Martin. Rowan is in the class of 2027 and a two-sport varsity athlete. Can I ask Rowan to please join us on the stage to present our next inductee?
On the occasion of his 55th reunion from Williston, it gives us great pleasure to induct Gary Tim, class of 1970, into the Williston Northampton School Athletic Hall of Fame. Hailing from Springfield, Illinois, Gary was a standout athlete at Williston, earning 9 letters in his 3 sports, football, basketball, and baseball. Playing for Coach Rick Francis, Gary was a co-captain and MVP of the 6-1 football team in 1969, leading the team in rushing, passing, and scoring, a rare feat. Following the season, the Boston Globe named Gary as the quarterback of their prestigious All-New England prep team. During the winter season, he took to the hard court where he helped lead Coach Francis' basketball team to runner-up in New England with an excellent 18-5 record. During the season, he was named to the all-tournament first team at the Kingswood Invitational Basketball Tournament. In the spring, his leadership extended to the baseball field, where his winning ways continued, captaining Carpy's baseball team, leading them to an 8-6 record. At year's end, it came to no surprise to everyone that Gary Tim was named the recipient of the Denman Award as the top senior athlete in 1970. Gary continued his athletic career at Harvard, where he enjoyed a brief career playing football. His legacy at Williston is a testament to his dedication, leadership, and athletic progress. Gary could not be with us today, so I'd like to invite his brother Gil class of 1972, up to the podium to accept on Gary's behalf.
Now, if you look at your list here, it says Gary Dean Snake Tim. Just to clear that up, that picture is showing a quarterback holding a football. My brother Gary, who played quarterback, he thrived on all hell breaking loose. And the snake was because he just loved it when a play broke down, and then he had to run around all over it like a snake. I think maybe he even named himself. And he would hold that football out like this, and he'd run around, and then he'd try to find somebody's else. So that's my brother's Gary Snake. In speaking to Gary, first of all, he wanted to say how much he regrets not being able to come here today. But it became very obvious that although this is a personal award, it's a team achievement. And he emphasized to me that he wanted to recognize all of the players, the managers, the coaches who made those teams possible. And it was a team sport. It wasn't an individual sport. So any accolades he has, any accomplishments he felt, really he should share those with everybody. So that's what I'm doing. I'm sharing those with all of you. Now, our family, the Tim family, there are 4 boys who came to Williston over an 11-year period. We grew up in central Illinois where there is corn and soybeans and sports. All we did was play football, basketball, and baseball. Played football all fall, started to snow, shoveled off the snow, shot baskets all winter outside, stopped snowing, started playing baseball, played baseball all the way to the fall, repeat, start again, start again, start again. So by the time we got to Williston, that's what we knew were sports, and we were prepared. We had been coached well, and we knew how to get in condition. So by the time Gary came here to participate, he was ready to go. And that contributed to his success. And he knows, he learned, as do probably every athlete here, that preparation, conditioning, and teamwork lead to success. And that's helped him in sports. But sports was not just the only thing for Williston for Gary. It was when we started, but it was the academics. There were giants here for teachers that he appreciated. Ray Brown, Barry Mosier, Doc Gow, Henchy, Siebold. These were people who enriched his life and gave him a newfound curiosity for the world and for the people around him. So Williston was not only these athletics, which were indeed a great part of his being here, but that curiosity too. So he took these 2 things. He took these lessons and these things from sports and this newfound curiosity from his academics and went into the world. He went to Harvard. We won't say so much about Harvard, but then after that, he designed his life so that he could travel around the world. Now, and by traveling around the world, I'm not saying he stayed at the best hotels and drank wine and did all that. No. His was boots on the ground, hands in the dirt, traveling, trekking, where he had to find people to put together different ways to experience our world and the people in it. Before coming here, I said, just give me a list of all the countries you've been to. And he sent me a list of over 30 different countries. And these countries are vast. For example, he's been to Antarctica, trekking in Antarctica. He's been down the Amazon River twice in a balsa wood raft, 1,000-mile journey. He's been to Africa. And his favorite place of all to be is Nepal. And he's been to Nepal 4 different times. One time trekking to the base camp of Mount Everest, a 24, 25-day trek. And the one thing that equates to all of this is he had to be in condition. When he did all these treks, he used that conditioning program that he used here at Williston. He had to find a team. He had to find guides, leaders, people to take him. And that team sustained him on these treks. Now, he's told me, in speaking about Nepal, that you go to Nepal for the mountains, Everest, whatever those mountains are, but you go back for the people. And that's what he found, is this enrichment, all these different people from all over the world. And I think about his time here at Williston. I know that he came here, well, my dad made him come here for the academics, but he always came back for the people. So on behalf of my brother Gary, Snake, Tim, I accept this honor, and I'll make sure he gets all this good swag the next time I see him. And he's sorry he can't be here, but thank you very much.
Congratulations. Join me in welcoming our next presenter, Maggie Fay, who is a member of the class of 2025, 3-sport athlete, captain of the JV girls hockey team and the varsity softball team. Maggie, please join us on the stage to present our next inductee.
Next, we are proud to induct Kathleen Mason Berry, class of 9-5, into the Williston Northampton School Athletic Hall of Fame. Kathleen was an exceptional multi-sport athlete at Williston during her 6 years on campus. In the fall, she was a solid contributor on Coach Ann Pickerel's field hockey teams. In the winter, she earned 5 letters at Lasone Brink, playing for Etsy Tickner. She captained the team as a senior with current Hall of Fame member Danny Hochlag, helping to lead the team to an outstanding season that included notching 14 wins and winning the Nobles Tournament. In the spring, she transitioned onto the circle on the softball diamond as the team's pitcher. One of her coaches, Jen Fulcher, says that she was the first dominant pitcher in our school's history with multiple perfect games and no-hitters. Leading her team to unparalleled success at the time, she was a 2-time captain and 3-time most valuable player. At the conclusion of her senior year, she was awarded the Alumni Award given to the outstanding female senior athlete. Kathy continued her athletic career at Williams College, where she competed for 4 years. Can I ask Kathy Mason Berry to come to the stage to accept her Hall of Fame induction?
Thank you, Maggie. Thank you so much for this incredible honor. Standing here as an inductee is wild, especially when I think back to where it all started on the softball field as a 7th grader, just hoping to not make an error and wondering how I was going to fit in with all the older girls. I'll never forget the moment Sue Barnett, a fellow Hall of Famer, took a chance on me, letting me join the varsity team so young, and then crazily enough, allowing me on the mound. She believed in me before I fully believed in myself and forever changed the course of my athletic journey. Of course, any pitcher is only as strong as the person behind the plate, and I was lucky enough to not have one, but 2 of the very best. It started with my sister, Kristen. We didn't just share a dugout, we shared a bond, and also the Blue Bomber barreling into campus every morning. That made every game feel like something bigger. We fought like sisters do, but we always trusted each other in every pitch, every play, and every big moment. And then Danny Hochlag, another fellow Hall of Famer, whose glove I always seemed to find. They were both also instrumental in my hockey career as they were the goal scorers leading our teams while I defended the puck. I was also fortunate to have coaches who not only challenged me, but truly cared about me as a person. Jen Fulcher brought out a fierce competitiveness in me while always reminding me to enjoy the game and have fun. SD Tickner, who pushed us in every single practice and was a steady presence that anchored our team. They both helped me grow, not just as a player, but as a teammate and a leader. And also, Ann Pickrell and Julie Carroll, who somehow made me into a field hockey player that I was not. To my teammates, thank you for the laughs, the hard-fought games, and the unforgettable memories. I loved ringing that victory bell. And to the Williston community, Jay Grant, Peter Gunn, and so many others, you gave me a place to grow, to compete, and to belong. Western Mass will always be home in my heart. And to my parents, thank you for making Williston a possibility, especially my mother, Maureen, who, if you were lucky, you may have received her care and health services, and who proudly handed me my diploma at commencement. It rained that day, too. This honor means so much to me, not because of the stats or the wins, but because it reflects the people, the moments, and the values that shaped who I am today. Congratulations to all my fellow inductees, and thank you, Williston, from the bottom of my heart.
Congratulations. Our next presenter is our very own head varsity coach for swimming and dean of students, Dave Kordakoski. David has been a consistent and steady leader for the last 26 years with an incredible 9 NEPSAC titles. Can I ask David to please join us on stage to present our next 2 inductees?
Thank you, Jade, and thank you for the opportunity to be able to present 2 former athletes today. It's a great pleasure to be able to induct Kira Cannon Goodman into the Williston Athletics Hall of Fame, an honor well deserved. By any measure, Kira's impact on Williston athletics was exceptional, earning 15 varsity letters during her illustrious career on campus. While she was a strong contributor to Coach Barb Heyer's lacrosse program, she was truly a standout when it came to her time in the pool. Kira was the captain of my first team at Williston back in the 1999-2000 season. And while it was her final season, I continue to coach the program today and can say without question that she has left a lasting impact on our program and at our school. Kira earned 5 letters in water polo, was captain and MVP during both her junior and senior years, and led the team in basically every statistical category. Additionally, she made the all-NEPSAC team and earned a prestigious invitation to be a member of the junior national team. Kira also earned 5 letters as a swimmer, captaining the team in her final 2 seasons while setting an amazing 5 school records. She was a 2-time NEPSAC champion in the 100 breaststroke and was truly one of the best swimmers in New England. Her times in the breaststroke still rank as the 2nd fastest in team history. At the culmination of her Williston career, Kira was awarded the Alumni Bowl as the top athlete in the school at commencement, but that was not the end of her athletic prowess. She then went off to play Division I water polo at George Washington University, where she set multiple records, was named team MVP, and represented the United States when she competed at the Olympic Festival hosted by Puerto Rico. Kira, thank you for all that you have done for the school and for our aquatics program, and congratulations on this honor. Ladies and gentlemen, Kira Cannon Goodman.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am incredibly honored and grateful to be standing here as an inductee into the Williston Northampton Athletics Hall of Fame. To be recognized by this community, a place that shaped so much of who I am, is deeply meaningful. Diving onto the varsity swim team in middle school was an exciting start to many seasons in the pool. During 6 winters in the water, several highlights stand out in my memory. Teammates, new and old, my shallow end stretching buddy, away meet bus rides, team cheers, having frozen hair after practice, breaking the school record in the 50 freestyle with 25.5 seconds, and my dad asking me if I could have gone any faster. Gaining the nickname Kiva, Kiva, thanks to Coach Peggy Cook's handwriting. The R looked like a V. The swim team was a tight family and so much fun to be a part of. Our team worked hard together, we supported each other, cheering each other on, and we broke records. Every single relay record, boys and girls, truly was a wonderful team. I am grateful to Peggy Cook, the most supportive mentor and coach, who's here today, for everything she did for me at Williston. She encouraged me to join the water polo team in 8th grade, 1 year after the start of the program in 1994. I had never heard of water polo, a ball sport in a pool. It was instant love, and the beginning of 20 years learning to play, training, and competing with 5 different teams. The physical rigor, creative problem solving, and strategy of the sport is unparalleled. In spite of this, simply passing with teammates in the pool will always be one of my most favorite things in the entire world. The popularity and growth of women's water polo rose exponentially during my time at Williston and afterwards playing in college. Many high school and Division I collegiate programs at East Coast schools were created for women at this time. Women's water polo became an Olympic sport in the year 2000, the year I graduated from Williston. It is meaningful to reflect on my time at Williston as part of the pioneering legacy of the sport for women and for East Coast teams. It is exciting to see the girls' water polo program here at Williston thriving. Congratulations, coaches and players. Lastly, I'd like to mention lacrosse. Shin splints aside after 2 seasons in the pool, it was literally a breath of fresh air to run around in a kilt and learn to wield a lacrosse stick. Teamwork, camaraderie, friendship, discipline, the student-athlete experience, these memories, they will always stay with me. To my family, thank you for your unwavering support and encouragement, especially the summers spent in California playing water polo, for being there at every meet, game, tournament, for cheering me on and pushing me to always do my best in everything that I do. To current and future Williston athletes, and to my kids who are here listening, make the most of your experience, push yourself as hard as you can, and always do your best. Thank you for this incredible honor.
Congratulations.
It works well that these two graduated the same year, so I am once again humbled and honored to induct another past member of the swimming and water polo teams into the Athletic Hall of Fame. Jared Beaner Zwerko was one of the very first people I met when I started working at Williston. He and his co-captain, Steve LaPlante, met me on campus during the summer of 1999 as we prepared for the upcoming water polo season. Jared left a lasting impact on me, on the school, and on the swimming and water polo programs. Arguably one of the finest water polo players in our school's history, he made my first season at Williston an easy one. He was captain and MVP in both his junior and senior years and was a tremendous leader inside and outside of the pool. At the end of his career, he held school records in goals and assists in a single season, as well as a Williston career. Jared enjoyed equal success in the swimming program, captaining the team while earning MVP honors and was a 2-time All-American. He still holds 2 school records as a member of the 200 and 400 freestyle relay teams and remains one of the most prolific and accomplished swimmers in our school's history. He finished his career at Williston by earning the Denman Award, given to our top senior athlete at commencement. His swimming career then continued at the University of New Hampshire, where he was an all-conference performer and was twice nominated as the Athlete of the Year. In a program rich with tradition, Jared Zwerko was one of the finest athletes in Williston's aquatics history. Congratulations on your induction into the Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, Jared Zwerko.
Wow. I just took a couple notes because I was told I only had 20 minutes, so I wanted to make sure that I held to that. I am incredibly grateful and humbled to be up here. I want to thank the Hall of Fame committee for this tremendous award. I'd like to thank Jade. When I got the call in February, to say I was shocked is an understatement, but I was also so proud to be talking to Jade because she's an incredible person, and I'm so happy for Williston that she's here as the athletic director. I wouldn't be here without a lot of support, so I just would love to take the time really to thank that support system, and most importantly, my mom, who's here, who woke me up every morning to get me to practice, starting when I was wee big, and brought me to every meet all over New England. And it was, that cheering that was in the stands through all of my career and even into college. And at the time, you don't really understand those sacrifices that parents make. And so honestly, the boredom that it can be to sit in the stands for swimming, your child is swimming literally for seconds while you're in the stands for hours. So I didn't understand that or appreciate it until I started to coach, and I actually called my mom and I apologized, and I said thank you for all of that. So thanks again, Mom. My dad, who passed away when I was a junior, was another constant support system, and I always knew that he was so proud. Anytime I talked to him, he made sure that he knew that I knew, and I could feel it. So having champions like that is a major gift. My brother Nate, who's here, class of '96 here at Williston, was another remarkable piece of support for my entire career. He was an awesome football player, an awesome wrestler, and an awesome baseball player. So when I was growing up, I would always hear stories about how talented my dad was at football and baseball at Holyoke High and then at Duke, and I would hear how awesome my brother was. I got to see him, play in college, and to say that that motivated me is also an understatement. So thanks for always being there and being that piece of support. I would like to thank all my teammates and classmates. It's really your support that has helped me be who I am. Swimming is so different because you're holding onto the wall for seconds, and you have such meaningful conversations in that short amount of time. And sometimes you're sitting on the metal bleachers for mere minutes before practice, before Coach K comes around and tells you to get your butt in the water. But those are the stories that you remember for years. So those minutes and seconds last a lifetime. And it's really been awesome to have Kate and Kira, who have been by my side since preschool. So it's really cool to have Kira coming into the Hall of Fame with me. And I've always felt like I've had two sisters with me my entire life. So thank you two for everything that you've done. I also need to recognize Coach K, a future Hall of Famer in his own right, for sure. His first coaching, like he said, was my senior year, and if I had a magic wand, I'd just wave that magic wand, and I'd have the ability to be here longer with him. I was lucky to have some great coaches. Peggy Cook, I loved seeing you here. That was amazing. Coach K, he just found a way to push me and challenge me and empower me to reach new levels. He motivated me with his belief, but also his humor, great timing with jokes. After graduating, I knew that I wanted to come back to Williston so that other students would get the experience that I had. And to the best part of all of that was that I actually got to coach alongside my mentor and my idol. And that is truly something that is special. And it's no surprise that Coach K continues to have the success that he has, because he has taken the art and the science and put it together, and that in itself is rare. Now is the time when usually the music starts to cue in. They cut off the microphone. I've been talking too long, but I'm going to just take this moment and I'm going to soak it in, because that's not something that I do. I'm someone who loves celebrating other people. I deflect attention away from me, but today I want to celebrate high school me. Yeah. I was a small kid, a very scrawny kid. I didn't grow until my senior year, and unfortunately, there's plenty of photo evidence of that lined the halls of the gym. But I spent lots of time in that gym, and I would stare at the plaques on the walls and the record boards and the trophies that were endless from our swimming programs. And because of the unwavering support from my family and my friends and my teammates and my coaches, that little kid who used to have the daydream of how amazing it would be to be one of those people one day, today that daydream came true, and today is that day. So thank you, Williston.
Congratulations. Our next presenter is a graduate of the class of 2024, a three-sport varsity athlete, Anna Sawyer. Anna, please join us on the stage to present our next inductee.
Our next inductee is a member of the class of 2010, celebrating her 15th reunion this year. A 6-year day student and my childhood idol, she enjoyed a tremendous athletic career at Williston, earning 13 letters and impacting all 3 sports she played. In the fall, playing soccer for Jen Fulcher, she spearheaded the defense from her stopper position, helping lead her team to 3 postseason NEPSAC tournament berths. In her senior year, she was awarded the team's Alumni Award for outstanding contribution to the program. In the spring, playing for Lisa Levchuk, she earned 5 varsity tennis letters, amassing a remarkable singles record of 46-8 while captaining the team as a senior and winning MVP honors. In the winter, playing basketball for Kevin Kudla, her accomplishments were noteworthy. 4-time MVP, 3-time captain, 3-time NEPSAC All-Star. She finished her career with 1,266 points, good for 4th in school history. She capped her athletic career by being awarded the Alumni Award given to the top senior female athlete in the school. Following graduation, she played 4 years of basketball at Middlebury, where she earned all NESCAC all-academic recognition for 2 years. I would like to invite Dr. Christina Conroy to the stage to accept this recognition.
That was a lovely surprise. Thank you, Anna Sawyer. And thank you, Williston community. Hi, baby. You're doing so well. Hang in there. All right. Okay, just a short speech for you here. The other day, I started thinking, why do we as adults love to watch sports? How is it that when my husband, Robert, and I are sleep-deprived, behind on work deadlines, and looking around at scattered toys and food on the ground of our apartment, that we still make time to watch the Celtics playoff games? And how is it that after weeks of hearing about traumas and tragedies in our country and around the globe, that watching people cross the finish line at the Boston Marathon gives me a profound sense of hope? Now, I'm a child clinical psychologist by training, so I'm conditioned to think deeply about things that make us feel human. And at first, I started thinking about sports as a space for levity and an opportunity to get away from other real-world stressors that impact all of us. But I don't think that's it, because sports bring on a whole range of feelings, many of which would not be described as light. From our hearts racing as the tied game goes into overtime, to the disappointment that comes with a devastating injury like Jason Tatum's Achilles, to the joy and pride in a PR, either on the Peloton bike or in real life. So I'm going to tell you now what I usually tell my teen therapy patients, that I don't have the answer. But what I can tell you is that the memories that I still think about from my time at Williston are ones when me and my teammates were screaming every word to Our Song by Taylor Swift on the bus ride to Hotchkiss. And how I can't remember the specific content of Mr. Bagley's geometry lessons or the books we read in Miss Lovechuck's AP English class, but I do remember how Fulch would tell us, "You're not tired," during our final sprints of soccer practice, and how Lisa Lovechuck would tell us, "Always act like you're wearing a crown," to bring confidence into our tennis matches. And I remember how Coach Kudla had a quote of the day that he would print out on a piece of paper and tape to the wall of the gym. One of our team's favorites, which we eventually printed on the back of custom-made t-shirts, was, "A quiet gym is a losing gym." And we took those words very seriously. We cheered so loudly for each other through turnovers and baskets, even through one basket that was shot backwards. Shout out to Annie Sills in the front row right here. So given these experiences, perhaps it's not surprising that when I first arrived in my psychology graduate program back in 2018, I remember telling my PhD mentor that I wasn't entirely sure what I wanted to study about children's mental health, but that what I did know is that I wanted to spend as much time outside of the therapy room as possible, to instead think about the simple and regular moments that we experience, like sports, that draw us into the present moment and help us feel connected to those around us through whatever raw feelings are surfacing at the time. And now, years later, after reading far too many peer-reviewed scientific publications, I can tell you that these moments have so much therapeutic potential. Of course, they're not a replacement for therapy, but they build on what schools and kids are already doing. They lead to sustainable change, and they're grounded in relationships. So to any past, current, or future coach out there, the support and commitment you pour into your teens really matters. And I want to conclude by acknowledging perhaps the most impactful part of my athletics career, and those are my peers, who were not only my social support during our awkward teenage years, but continued to inspire me, show up in my life, and give me a boost when I need it the most. Doopsy, Jenna Spooner, Adrian Singer, Ayla Garcia, Anne Frances Hancock Sullivan, Julia Midland, Stevie Lustafin, Danny Glenn, and more. With life scattering us in different directions over the past 15 years since graduation, I still feel comforted by their presence and our sense of community. And in that same vein, I want to dedicate this Hall of Fame induction to my friend, Kay Sample Smart. my teammate and Williston girls basketball partner in crime, who we lost far too soon last August. I can still hear your laugh and your poorly pitched singing voice, belting Whitney Houston's "I Will Always Love You" across the quad. We're sending love and McDonald's up to you in heaven. This one is for you, Kay.
Congratulations. Our next inductee will be introduced by Christopher Doubleday, who is in the class of 2025, three-sport varsity athlete and captain of the cross-country and swimming team. Christopher, please join us on the stage to present our next inductee.
The 1980 boys ski team, led by longtime coach Rick Lucchesi, enjoyed a tremendous season, finishing the winter with an impressive 19-3 record to earn first place at the league championships. With its training home nearby, the team trained and competed under the bright lights and by the moon up on the friendly confines of nearby Mount Tom. The team's big rival during those days was Berkshire, who they managed to beat more than once during that season. The team was led by underclassman Bobby Hazen, who had a tremendous individual season, going undefeated and winning the team's most outstanding skier award. Bobby's success on the mountain continued that winter when he qualified for and finished in the top 10 at the Eastern Championships. And other team members included underclassmen Dean Goldblatt, Mark Stas, Chris Glenn, and seniors Joey Boynton, Kurt McLeod, Chris Messner, Larry Yankovic, and Mark Lucier. Would the team members now please come forward to receive their medals while Mark Lucier shares a few acceptance remarks on behalf of the team.
First, I want to, on behalf of the team, I want to thank the committee for the nomination. I also want to congratulate all the other nominees today. It's truly an honor, and it's so much fun. I'm thinking back to the day that I got this letter that we were going to be nominated into the Hall of Fame, and there were two thoughts that I had. The first one was that I can now brag to my wife that she's married to a Hall of Famer. And I use it over and over and over. So thank you for that. The second thing was I was thinking back to what did we accomplish? It was 45 years ago, and I thought we were undefeated, but you guys agree, right? I thought we were undefeated. But we went 19-3, and as you've heard, Bobby Hazen was a big chunk of it. You know, Bobby would be the first one out, he would rip down the hill, and he would have such a margin between the other team's best racer from Berkshire. We always were worried about them. And what our jobs were just to hang on. It was really just to be good enough. It's a great life lesson that I've learned over and over, but we just need to be good enough. And I can remember Coach Rick grabbing me before every race going, just stand up, just finish. And it took me a while to figure it out, and I think we all did figure it out. And we realized that if we really worked together as a team and understood what our roles were, and like Bill Belichick says, we just did our jobs and we were good enough, we would win. So we'd watch these races go, and we'd watch the margin kind of shrink as we all went down, and inevitably we won a lot, and it was a ton of fun. And I really appreciate all these guys, and even the guys that aren't here. It's really an accomplishment. I want to also just say that I also obviously have a very deep connection to Williston through my family. My parents worked there. I'm a faculty brat, if you didn't know. My athletic career actually started with Jay Grant, handing out jock straps, shorts, and towels. And that, along with every other experience that I had at Williston, really carried with me for a long time. I took it into my college career. I played for lacrosse for the University of Vermont. As an adult, I ran in races, triathlons. I coached my kids' teams. I ran the youth lacrosse program, and it all started here with the experience that I had with the teammates and the coaches. Coach Rick, thank you for herding us to such a great season and for everything that you did. But those experiences, those athletic experiences really have stuck with me. Still love skiing, still an avid skier like all of us are. Joey, I want you back on the hill. But anyway, I just want to say thank you and thank all of you guys. It was really a fun season and great memories, really fun to see you guys again. So thank you.
Congratulations. Our next presenter is a recent graduate of the class of 2025 and a contributing member of the varsity ski team, Ava Meda. Can I ask Ava to please join us on the stage to present our next inductee?
The 1980 girls ski team, coached by Patty Smith, was one for the ages, enjoying an incredible season on the slopes of Mount Tom. The team had a terrific season, competing in the league, going undefeated at 15-0 to win the league championship. At the New England Championships, the girls enjoyed a terrific team performance as well as coming in second place, its finest finish in many years. Individually, the team was led by co-captains Sue White and Sue Snyder. Sue White was undefeated during the season and finished first in both the slalom and the giant slalom at the league championships. Fellow co-captain Sue Snyder, who placed third or higher in 80% of the team's races, finished in third at both events in the league championship. As the 1980 yearbook mentions, the team known as the Incredible Seven was made up of both Sues, Harriet Tatro, Leslie Lucier, Nicole Pettenod, Mimi Eaton, and Mary Toulis. Will the team members please come forward to accept their medals while Sue Snyder shares a few acceptance remarks on behalf of the team.
First of all, thank all of you for being here. What a wonderful show of people in between the raindrops that we're having today. So I'm Sue Snyder, and on behalf of the entire 80 women's ski team, we are incredibly honored to be included and inducted into the Williston Northampton School Hall of Fame. So, as co-captain alongside Sue Clifford White, I am proud to stand here with this exceptional group of women. Each one brought strength and dedication and heart to our team. And at the core of it all was a foundation, our remarkable coach, Patty Smith. Coach Patty led us with unwavering determination and really never give up and really, come on, Sue, make this work attitude. Even when the odds were stacked against us, her guidance shaped us, not only our skills on the slopes, but also in resilience and camaraderie that carried us through a lot of competition and life. And the lessons we learned from her are ones we still carry with us today. We were just talking about that, how we're running. When we run down the hill, we do our little ski slope. We do a little slalom when we're running down the hill, because that's what Patty taught us to do back 100 years ago. Williston Northampton gave us more than just a place to ski. He gave us friendships that last really a lifetime, and friendships that we all will really cherish forever. This honor is a reflection of everything we built together, and thank you for our leadership, Williston Northampton School, for being such a meaningful part of our journey. But before I just want to share with you that two of these lovely women here, standing here, have made skiing their lifeline passion, and this is their career, their entire life. And Patty Smith has been teaching skiing for the Aspen Ski Company, Aspen Snowmass Ski Company, for over 43 years, correct? Fantastic. And Sue Clifford White, after leaving here, coached for Amherst for a year for skiing, and then also Plymouth State. And then from there, she took off out west. And what that means, you never really come back. If you go out there, you really hardly ever come back. She has been running the Park City Resort, the director of ski school, overseeing over 800 ski instructors for 37 years. Am I correct? Fantastic. So thank you, Williston, for this amazing experience and for including us in this wonderful honor today, and for Coach Patty for sharing and giving us amazing foundation. Thank you.
Congratulations. Our next presenter is a Williston Hall of Famer himself, Jay Grant, who was inducted in 2018 for his efforts and service to the athletic department and entire community. Even after retirement, he continues to represent the blue and green. Jay, please join us on stage to present our next inductee.
Thank you, Jade. I'm truly honored to have the privilege of introducing Robert Couch as our final inductee into the 2025 Athletic Hall of Fame. I've had the pleasure of knowing Bob and Janet and their families since I arrived at Williston almost 50 years ago. Couchy graduated in the Williston Academy class of 1950 and is here celebrating his 75th reunion. In 2013, we inducted the first Williston Northampton Athletic Hall of Fame class. That day, Bob took the stage to introduce legendary football coach and athletic director Rick Francis. He said in his remarks that his chance of being on this stage in the future for any other reason is more than remote. But here we are, celebrating the accomplishments of another legend. After college, Bob returned to Williston as a faculty member embarking on a distinguished 40-year teaching career until his retirement in 1997. Bob taught math for many years before starting the school's amazing photography program. During his entire career, Couchy was heavily involved in the athletic program, often behind the scenes. Over the years, he coached football, ice hockey, baseball, lacrosse, tennis, and golf. Before the rink was built in 1964, he was always part of the crew that prepared the ice on the pond for the players to play on. Couchy filmed football team games for many, many years, back when film was actually used. Couchy's greatest legacy to the school is one that is there for all to see in the hallways of the Sabina Kane Athletic Center. The photos of Williston teams from 1870 through the present day are there because of his efforts. Couchy's been around for a long time, but not long enough to have taken the photos in the 1800s. The originals of those were of different sizes and hung on the walls of the old gym, now the Reed Center. By the 1970s, we had run out of wall space for new photos to be hung. Bob kept taking team pictures and stored them away. When the Athletic Center was built in 1991, he took on the project of reproducing all of the older photos and made them a standard size to be hung with the others. He then added the photos that he had stored for years and brought the project up to date. Couchy continued to take Williston's team pictures for 20 years after he retired. With the exception of recent years, he is solely responsible for the entire display of team photos in that building. For over 60 years, Couchy has had a huge impact on Williston, both behind the lens and in front of it. For that, he has earned induction into the Athletic Hall of Fame. Please join me in welcoming Bob Couch to the stage.
First, I'd like to begin by offering my congratulations to today's other inductees, many of whom I remember well, and I'm honored to be included with them. A year before Janet and I were married, she was in a nearby Longmeadow teaching sixth grade and at Blueberry Hill School. One day, she told me about a girl in the class who raised an interesting question. Why do we capitalize I and not we? Sixth grade wisdom. So in order to balance the content of my remarks today, I will capitalize we because there have been so many people involved in a project that has gone on for 155 years with over 2,000 pictures. We never know, we will never know who had the idea to post pictures of each year's varsity teams, nor those who felt that the display should continue. Photography was in infancy when the first one came out, and the first picture was up there, as Jay said, it was in 1870. But the first time I saw the pictures was in 1946 when I came to Williston on a tour and enrolling next year in 1947. And the pictures then were in separate wooden frames, big pictures, huge, as Jay also mentioned, and we had to bring them down to size. And that was when the Reed Center was a gym, and the rest of the pictures were downstairs on a wall by the pool. Rick Francis, as well as a group of alums, wanted to be sure that the display was continued when the present gym was built. He asked me if I would maintain it, and I quickly agreed. It's become quite an honor to be part of a unique feature of Williston. I never considered it a chore. We did it together, Jay Grant, Picture Day, which is a really big operation. Well, lower team and the varsity team being photographed in one day. And photographer, and after Jay retired, Melissa Brousseau took over doing that. And she was my boss then, and had an awful lot to do with it. You have to do the team, do captions for the team, and get all sorts of things put together. And when I began making the pictures digitally, I wouldn't have been able to print them without the help of Julie Rosinski, who's a photo lab intern. I'm not Mr. Technician, I know. That's a long time ago. So I'd like to express my gratitude today for today's honor by recalling the signature song of Bob Hope, a great entertainer and an even better human being. I'll relax, Janet. I'm not going to sing it. So I'm just going to give you the title as to what I feel. Thanks for the memory.
One more thing, Bob. Couchy wants to take a picture.
Couchy would like to take a picture of the crowd.
What a great way to end that celebration. Congratulations again to all awardees. When we think of people who bleed blue and green and breathe it as well, Couchy is certainly at the top of that list. But I also want to remember probably his companion in crime along the way. And you may have already heard, but I want to mention it again here. We honored Ray Brown, class of 1955, this weekend in recognition for his more than 40 years of service as a dedicated teacher, coach, and mentor. His name gets mentioned all the time, as you know. It makes me feel very unimportant. On the occasion of his 70th reunion, a handful of alumni have come together to create an endowed scholarship in his name. I know he doesn't like me talking about this, but please join me in congratulating Ray for the endowed scholarship.
As we conclude our ceremony, let us remember that the spirit of Williston's athletic community is not just about individual achievement, but about the strength of our teamwork, perseverance, and passion. Congratulations to all our inductees, and thank you to everyone in attendance for helping us honor these remarkable athletes, coaches, and teams. Let's give them one final round of applause. We ask that our Hall of Fame inductees join us near the stage to have their photos taken and enjoy the rest of the reunion festivities. Thank you.